tell you about the downside to all the upsides of working hard and everything we were just talking about. There are some downsides if you don't have the awareness, self-awareness to control what could happen if you're working so hard that your family starts to become an afterthought, which happened to me.
Yeah, so, well, no, I think that's important. I think that's my wife and I got into a fight on Christmas Eve because she caught me working upstairs in my office. So, so I go, because I tried, she knows me and I'm the same as you. I love it. Like, I love the adrenaline. Yeah, I do. I love it. I have a hard time pulling myself away. And so one of the things, and maybe you could speak on more than me, but I have to goal myself on several different pillars of my life. So when I'm doing my goal planning for 2021, I put learning in there, but I put family in there. Like I have to, and people think it sounds crazy. Like I don't schedule in my family, but I do have to consciously make it a priority because I will get so obsessive with all the other stuff in my life, which helps me to be successful being extreme, but I have to counteract that, with vacations and stuff like that. So how do you manage that and mitigate yourself not going off the deep end where no one sees you for 7 days?
I can answer it now because I've become successful at it, but I can tell you that I was a disaster at it for a long, long, long time. My family didn't see me much for my 12-year-old probably can tell you the first 8-9 years of her life, I was never around. So, and my younger one is 9, has a different experience because I'm around more, but it starts with, I didn't think about it initially. I just was doing what I thought I was supposed to do, which was work, and chase this never ending pile of success or money or whatever, and material things, which there's never an end to it. So it was only until when I began to have revelations, my father was 42 when he died. And so as I got older and I passed 42, I'm like, oh, I made it. And then I got to 43, 44, and I began to start thinking, wow, like I need to really start spending more time with my family. And about 2 years ago, and then my wife and I started really having problems because I wasn't focusing on her, on the relationship, on all the things that matter in that relationship. So when things really start to collectively go, you can feel things just aren't good. And it's not like a moment, it's just a way. It's like, wow, this isn't so good anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what snapped me into like, wait, I better pay more attention, but I did. And when that happened, I put family before anything else. And I made that choice. Frankly, my wife and I got to a bad spot where we probably would have split up in the past year and a half if things didn't change. And it was mostly me. I can't really say it was mostly me, but it's all the stuff we're talking about. This is so common when you're of a hard driving type A success driven person, whether you're male or female, other things suffer. So it's recognition that things are suffering. It's recognition that even if you don't think they're suffering, go find out because they probably are. You just don't realize it. And figure it out before, and ask questions, talk to the people, talk to your wife, talk to your husband, and look at the behavior of your children and start to see how they react to you when you're around. All the signs are there if you can see it. So I saw it, and then I made some serious changes, and I began to put my family first. And frankly, because of COVID for the past year, I've been home a lot anyway. So I'm around all the time. And it's being around and still working doesn't solve the problem. Being present actually when you're with the people that are important to you and putting the phone down, putting the computer down, not taking the call, not wearing this stupid Apple Watch, which I stopped wearing. I wear a regular watch now because I don't want the distractions.
Yeah.
Being aware of all that and then realizing that the most important thing is your family is really where it's a value-driven, soul-based piece that you have within you that has nothing to do with, whether or not I'm rich or poor or wealthy or in the middle, doesn't matter. Your family really is the most important thing. And it took me a long, long, long time to realize that because I grew up in a dysfunctional home. So that wasn't the most important thing. It was never really the most important thing to me. Even though I knew it in my head, it wasn't in my heart.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 years, I did a lot of work. You ever read the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma?
I have not.
I highly recommend it. It's one of the best books I ever read. He talks about mindset, soul set, heart set.
Mm.
My mindset was needed to shift. My soul set needed to shift. So I was focusing on the right things in the world, and my heart needed to shift. And when that all happened, my business became a lot better as well. So that's the balance, knowing what's most important. It's not your business is not the most important thing. It's important because you need to make money and people rely on you. But that business is not more important than your family. And that's the realization that has to really sink in your mind, your heart, and in your soul. And then there's health set. That's the fourth one. You need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Do everything you can to be healthy. So it was a journey for me, you know. And by the way, the people that I follow on social media, they have the same stories. I follow influencers who are very well known, like Grant Cardone and Ed Milet, and these guys. Oh yeah, 10X. These guys talk about it. They live it, and it doesn't matter how much money. Ed is the best because that guy, you can feel his heart through the screen.
Yeah,
it's real, and that's what's happened for me. I've shifted it. I used to be, not so much fun to be around. I was so driven, so hard. It was ridiculous. And yeah, that worked and it made me money and it got me business and it did whatever. But if I didn't catch it, it would have slowly started to cause me to end up getting divorced, not have a good relationship with my kids or my wife, friends, my employees, my team, all of it. It's all the same thing. You're the center of that relationship with every one of those people. And you really need to be a compassionate, empathetic person that has the right values. That's where the balance comes from. Sorry, long answer again, but that's where the balance comes from. It's the recognition and the awareness of what's the damn balance supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you. I think that there's a lot of people that have been listening to this, that young or, our age that are out of balance, need to realize that it's important to work hard and it's great to make a lot of money. But it's also important to realize that, right. Like, I read one of the pivotal books for me was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I kept on having issues with work or relationships. And I read that book and I kind of was like, oh, fuck, it's me. Like it's not everybody else. It's me, man. So I had to get my shit straight. So I, implementing a meditation practice, I got back in the gym and those types of things that were, that helped to center me more. Right. So I think it's great advice, Matt. I really appreciate, and I really appreciate you sharing that.
And meditation, I do it every day. I do different ways and think about, sometimes I think about things and listen to things. Sometimes it's just quiet, but that meditation was part of what changed my life slowly over the past 5 years, especially over the past year. It is life-changing if you really understand why you're doing it and what it does to create the soul, the peacefulness in you, especially if you're dealing with trauma from childhood, or if you're dealing with, any the little voices that run around in everybody's head that it's where's it all coming from? The seed of your soul, like where's it all coming from? Why are you making the choices you're making? Meditation is critical to having calm, clear thoughts.
Yes.
And come from the most peaceful, authentic place. Everybody should meditate. And that's frankly where most of my creativity happens. Unfortunately, when I'm doing a meditation, I end up having the most creative thoughts. And I actually have to write stuff down or stop meditating and send myself emails. My antennas go up and everything that's out there, it flows in and it's crazy. But, and also the exercising, you have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. And it's interesting. I saw some statistic and I know COVID, there's been a lot of, whatever it's been, everyone's got their own thoughts, opinions on it. I don't get into it, but I did see a stat that was how many gym visits. There'd been 46 million gym visits, and out of all the people they attracted gone to the gym, it was 1,100 had gotten COVID, and it was I don't know, it was 139 had unfortunately died. But the point was, because of COVID, and I don't know how they tracked that, but I was 46 million visits, 100 people die. That shows that, you have a healthy body, you have a healthy, you're getting your vitamin D, you're taking your supplements, you're going to the gym, you're going to be a lot more resistant to getting it and to fighting it. And that's something that I've been, regardless if you're Democrat or Republican, I don't really talk about on this show, but irrespective of anybody, the one thing that the message has not been conveyed to the fucking people is that get your nutrition right, get your supplements right, get your ass out walking, and you'll have a much better chance of living if anything you do catch it.
That's right. And listen, I'm not, neither of us are doctors, but I'm telling you, vitamin D, I live in a sunny part of the country, but I still take 20,000 IUs of vitamin D every day. I don't even need it. I probably have more than I need, but vitamin D is so critical to being healthy and to fighting off infections. I watch and read, and I'm a firm believer. You can't take too much vitamin D. It's not one of the vitamins that you can overdose. You can that's toxic. But start paying attention. If anybody's watching, start paying attention. Now it's becoming mainstream in the news. I don't watch the news, but I do see stuff occasionally, like on Google pop up. Now they are starting to report that people who have, almost everybody who's died from that they've measured died from COVID is deficient in vitamin D. I'm not saying that. It's something I'm seeing now as a common thread in things I'm reading. Mm-hmm. And I also just saw something on a valid news report that said that vitamin D is starting to be shown as something that actually it increases your immune system, but you are more apt to fight off or not get COVID. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do know that you're 100% right. And you got it, especially vitamin D. Take all your supplements and be healthy, but you have no reason not to take vitamin D. I think it's vitamin D and K3 is actually the combination. I mean, I take, like I said, 20,000 a day, and I walk outside for a half hour. I think I get 35,000 just from the sun every day. That's how much so I don't want to get sick. I certainly hope I don't, but if I do, I don't have any underlying conditions. I'm super healthy, and I'll probably be fine. It's the people that are not, that have underlying conditions. I think you hear the same thing, right? Those are the people that are having the real struggle.
Right.
So get healthy, get health. You want to have a good, healthy business, be a good, healthy person.
100%.
Have a good, healthy family, lead your family by example.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, honestly, for me, why I follow Grant and the 10X mentality is because he doesn't, a lot of people take that as like, it's just 10Xing your business, right? It's 10Xing your sales. But like, no, he 10X is everything. It's about your health. It's about your family. Okay. It's about your financial literacy. It's about everything. So that's why I really bought into him. And I like Ed too, because I think he gives that same type of message. Obviously the dude's jacked. You know what I mean? He's completely jacked for 49. What's that?
I said, you guys have matching tattoos.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. His is more tribal, but yeah. Ed's got some.
At Cardone, I mean, look at what he's done physically. If you look at his body over the past year, he said a year ago or something, he's like, I'm getting on it. And now he shoots videos in the gym. But that guy was 60 or 62. Look at him. Mm-hmm. His body transformed in the past 12, 18 months, transformed because he chose to.
Yeah. Chose to.
And if you want to talk about excuses, that guy is like on the go constantly, but yet he finds a way to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go work out for an hour every day, no matter where he is. Or so he says, but it certainly looks like it's true.
Yeah. If he wasn't, then he wouldn't look the way he does.